My name's John Knox. I'm an electrical assessor for ERR Limited. Okay, I've been doing this for probably 12 years, so I do have a bit of experience in it. I'm an electrician by trade. I have been doing electrical work since I have been 18 years old in various commercial, industrial and domestic installs. Okay, the one thing we do get in this industry is courses which say that you can complete a course within a given time scale, anywhere between 6 to maybe 10, 12 weeks. These courses, yes, can be done, but they would be normally for guys that may be working within the industry who can then achieve the standard of what they need to have to be able to go out there in the real world. Now, if you're coming off an office job, okay, driving a lorry, anything, or driving a bus, taxi drivers, we get all sorts of guys come through. Now, you will have to put in that extra mile, shall we say, of looking for jobs, okay, trying to get experience on site, okay. You'll have a lot of home study to do. Not everything can be done just straight into the centre and you will be guaranteed to get through. Okay, these things will take time, okay, they won't be achievable sometimes within these given weeks that some providers say they will. Okay, what you will need to do is obviously you will need to go away, you'll need to do your home study, you'll need to learn as much as you can. There's lots of stuff which comes onto YouTube where you could go testing and see people testing, people doing installs. Yeah, everything like this you will need to have a background knowledge on, really. So we do provide in ERR a lot of stuff for studying. There's lots of videos. There's lots of virtual reality stuff which is absolutely brilliant to go in and actually study for, because then when you do come in, you can maybe then achieve what you've got to within the workshop area as assessments. Okay, now everything is going to be down to your own time scale as well, because everyone has a home life. But the sooner you do get into the centre, the sooner you can start working and you start aiming towards a qualification. Now, these qualifications you will have, you'll do a certain amount in the centre, and then you will have to go away and do maybe NVQ, AM2, and then maybe register with a competent person scheme afterwards. What we do here, I will say everybody, and that means everybody is employable, okay? Because once you have all these qualifications, okay, and you apply yourself, whether you go with a mate to go and do and get some experience, or whether you go through an agency to work to get some experience, then everybody is employable. Okay, the one benefit I would say, not being funny, for this end, would be the one benefit over apprentices we have, is adults learn quicker, because they want to learn quicker. Okay, some apprentices don't want to be sometimes on site, don't want to turn up. Now, I've had guys who worked for me who came from this area, okay, when I was out on site. Now, the guy that I had that was working for me out on site, he was absolutely brilliant. Okay, his name was Cliff. Now, he came onto site, he was there on time, he worked like a Trojan, okay. In the end of it, he was actually running part of the site for me. Okay, so everybody, now he came from an office background, purely office, from school, went to university, went into an office, and then decided, I want a career change. He's come in, didn't really pick up tools, yeah, came in, and he was absolutely brilliant. He has now got his own company, okay, and he does a lot of industrial and commercial work now. So to me, it's highly achievable. It's just what you put in is what you're going to get out. Right, with all the renewables is going to get more and more and more. Okay, so therefore, you're going to have different niches in the market. Yeah, so when we have different niches in the market, you're now talking about guys who are going to do obviously solar. Like your wage structure for going and doing solar, depending on what you do as an office job or tax, it should go up, because that area is a specific area of electrical. Yeah, you now have the EV charging units and charging points for cars. Yes, this is one route. It should end up being flooded with electrical guys. Okay, so because there's going to be more and more and more of these electrical cars coming out and electrical vehicles, we need more and more electricians doing that particular area. It's going to open so many more doors. The labour demand on electricians, if anybody does go into an electrical wholesalers, they pick up a magazine called Electrical Professional Magazine. Okay, in that magazine will tell you in various months how much there is going to be a shortage and how much there is a shortage at the moment. They reckon in every city there's at least 5 to 10 electricians short, and in every village 2 electricians short. Now you can do your own maths on that. Yeah, that's a lot of electricians short already. Yeah, this is even before they start kicking in all these renewables and they're really going to fire it forward. So the work is going to be there. Okay, there's not one electrician, one electrician's mate, one electrician's labourer that I know which is out of work. They're all snowed under and busy. Yeah, well, the pay scale is only going to go up. Okay, if you're going industrial, commercial, I mean, you can charge anywhere between 35 to 40, maybe £50 an hour. Okay, if you're doing industrial, commercial stuff. I mean, speaking to a couple of electricians who've got their own companies at the moment, even just due to fuel costs and home living and warehouse costs and stuff like this that they've got. Okay, the prices are going to be amended. So every electrician's price will be eventually amended to accommodate all these hikes in prices and cost of living that we're already going to have. So it should then balance itself out. Okay, with it. I mean, if you're going to go sometimes onto an agency, they might say that you're only going to get £17, £18 an hour. Okay, if you go onto some other guys that you might know on site, they might say they'll pay you a day rate. It might be 150, 180 quid a day, but that should then rise. Okay, so the pay structure will now come to accommodate the guys that I spoke to. Because of the cost of living, they're putting the prices up now. They'll also be putting the prices up when the fuel prices and all that go back up again, and then they'll be doing it again in September when they hike the prices up even further. The competent person schemes have changed slightly. Okay, so what they will now ask you is that you have to be NVQ and you'll have to have an AM2, okay, to join their competent person scheme. Well, within this course, you can do an NVQ and you can do your AM2. Okay, you will have to have various site experience. Okay, so that's getting yourself out, maybe doing some weekend work. Okay, maybe doing a bit of, sometimes if you have to, maybe sometimes voluntary. Okay, just to gain that experience. Okay, but yes, once you have got in contact and you've got all these qualifications and you've got all the qualifications from the centre, you've got all your inspection and testing, your AM2, your NVQ, you will contact a competent person scheme, whether that be somebody like NAPIT or NIC, EIC, and they will come out to see you, and they will probably want to see any work that you have done previous. Okay, so they can assess what you have done. They might want you to do a few tests in front of them. They will like to see a load of paperwork. Okay, whether that be your health and safety policies, your complaints procedures, and make sure you have all the correct books. Okay, they will then assess whether you're competent to be part of their competent person scheme. Once they do that, then you will be signed up for them for a yearly fee, and then every year they would come back out and assess your work again. So once a year they will assess your work. Now, once you become a member of a competent person scheme, the competent person scheme become like the middleman, okay, between you and the local council. So you don't have to then go to the local council to then put anything in to them to say that you've done work, or for them to come out and visit what work you've done. So they become theoretically the middleman. So you notify your competent person scheme, who's then going to notify building control on your behalf that this work has been done to a specific standard. Is I done an apprenticeship, and when I had done this, not one part of the college work was viable for what I really needed out on site. Yes, it was all geared up for a domestic, at that time, a domestic install. So therefore, I was industrial commercial. To me, it wasn't particularly needed. I learned what I needed to basically on site. The part in the college, not being funny, but don't get me wrong, it has changed now. But at that time, this area here would have probably benefited me more, because I am seeing now in here 3-phase. Okay, I am seeing contactors. Okay, these are the things that I was working with as an apprentice, but never saw at college. Okay, what people's perceptions at home with their own individual kids maybe coming through and want to do an apprenticeship, these people at home think of electricians as working on their house, as just a domestic electrician. Okay, yes, you will get that maybe in a college or anything like this. Okay, but you need all aspects. You need a broader horizon. You need industrial commercial. You need to know how to do tray work. You need to know how to do trunking. You need to know how to do SWA cable. Yes, you need to know how to do the basics within a house of twin and earth. Okay, of all the stuff that comes with a domestic install. But it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all of an apprenticeship, that this person's going to stay in this one area of a domestic install. They might want to be industrial commercial. So therefore, this aspect here, to me, gives a wider aspect now in here than it did for me when I was at college. Okay, now I do have my son who is now going to a college, and he's doing the electrical course at college. Now, to be fair to them, they are doing tray work, they are doing trunking, they are doing all the rest of it now. So they are going through this aspect, but when you come into here, a lot of it's onus on the individual being able to learn at their own pace at home. Okay. With a college, you're forced and you're not always guaranteed an apprenticeship. Now, my son hasn't got an apprenticeship. At the moment, there's not a lot of apprenticeships around. Okay, now, I don't know the main reason for this. One of the big reasons that I've been told is taking on a 16-year-old for a company that's maybe a one-man band. We've got maybe we've got 2 guys working for them or something like this, is insurance purposes. They don't want that, and they don't want then the hassle of then all of these insurances that they have to pay out, which can actually double, sometimes triple, because you've got a 16, 17-year-old working for you. Okay, and when the payback off of the government isn't particularly that great. Hence that the apprenticeships, there's not a lot of them around. Now, my son doesn't have an apprenticeship, and we're in the process of trying to find him one. Okay, I think the best option I've got is wait until now he's 18. Okay, but that's just going to be one of them things that we're going to have to see when it comes around. So to me, if he doesn't, I will get him involved in something like this to get him through and get his qualifications.